Well, first of all, what's your name?
Sean Lakeside.
Nice to meet you, Sean. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, no problem.
How would you say you rely on the U.S. forest land?
Oh man, I grew up here all my life. I think some of the trees here are gorgeous. They make our air better. They're beautiful, and we're losing them all. Not only to our own, cutting them down, all those fires.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say are some of the biggest threats affecting our forests these days?
I'd say fire and humans using them, cutting them down.
How were you affected by the fires, or do you know other people who were affected around here?
You know, personally, me working down here every day out in the open, you could smell. I mean, you could smell it, you could breathe it. I don't know where the fires were, California, Oregon, wherever they were coming from. The wind kind of circulates through here, and you have to breathe it. And it's horrible. I smoke cigarettes, you know, that's one thing, but smoking that air is totally different. I don't know what it is.
And do you feel like there was less business down here, less traffic during those times?
I didn't notice. I want to say I didn't notice, but you hear a lot of people complaining about the air. You probably saw on the news telling people to stay home. It's better for their health. I can't say I didn't notice that at that time. You know what I mean? So.
Do you feel like we should do something to mitigate the damage of these fires, maybe prevent them, or do you think we should just let them alone?
No, I think we should do everything possible to save our forests. You know, we need clean air. You know, and those trees keep us clean. And burning them, it's just incredible. It's a nightmare, really. You know, all these accident burnings and this every year happens. It seems like it happens every year. I'm born and raised here, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, would you say it's getting worse in your perception?
I would say every year it's getting worse, a little bit by little bit. If there's a fire here, they're kind of more spread out, and it seems like they're harder to shut down. That's what I don't really pay attention 100%, but, you know, I hear and, you know, breathe it or whatever it is, and yeah.
Who in your mind is responsible for the state of the forest and potentially, you know, dealing with some of these increased fires?
Basically everybody, you know, one way or another, but it should come to our government, and that's what I think. Something like that should put something together, because that's probably the easiest way than versus having individuals do it, you know. It's a better system, probably.
Do you know about some of the techniques that people talk about in terms of management, thinning, prescribed burns, and brush clearing? Do you have an opinion about those, or how do you feel about doing some of that work?
I think some of the work needs to be premeditated so fires don't come about. It makes less of a chance to have a big fire or more fires, you know, if they premeditate stuff. And that's what we should do, you know.
Do you feel like the timber industry has a role to play in dealing with some of those fires?
Sure. I mean, we go in there, accidents happen. These guys are logging, smoking a cigarette, doing whatever, you know. Who knows? Yeah, fires start out of nowhere, it seems like.
What about, do you feel like there's a reason the timber industry couldn't help do some of that preventative work?
I think they should be, they're making the money off the tree and lumber. I think it should be built into how they do their business. Yes, absolutely. Just like anything else, the gas companies, anything else, same thing. It's built in. Maybe they should work on that. That and the fish industry, you know, a little more. That's probably a good thing.
How long have you been working down here?
Off and on since I was 15 at the market, yeah. Been here a while.
And, in your mind, what do you think of when you think of the timber industry?
I love it. I love wood. I think it's, you can build stuff, make it beautiful. I mean, we can't live without it, more or less, I think. Hands-on when I was a kid, I used to have to cut my own wood for firewood and just to keep heat. Yeah, I think we can't live without it in many ways.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Thanks.
Thanks.
Guys. Yeah.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.